activity around the door. We have had the lasers set up in here where we've seen people cutting through the laser grids within this environment, and that environment. I don't know, did you say that environment where people feel like they're being rounded?
No, I didn't.
Up? Yeah, so...
Especially Amy, you need to just let us know tonight if you feel a little bit uncomfortable in that yard. Because they can tend to gravitate around younger people.
So like me too.
Yeah, and me.
I was thinking what was that?
Yes.
No, me, because I'm young.
Exercise area.
You guys are just know, they're going to come up and you go, I can't.
What are you going to do about it?
I always feel uncomfortable.
There have been guests that have reported where they've been sort of investigating in that area, feeling like they're being rounded up.
We actually have had that where we've not noticed, and then all of a sudden you're thinking,
why is it happening?
And subconsciously, whether or not, so that can be a different space in there.
Yeah, cool.
And obviously, I think we sort of said over the jail, just listen for the footsteps.
That's really common.
Because it's
really common.
Or you'll be in one of the rooms and you're thinking someone's coming in.
Yeah.
Actually, my girlfriend, my other girlfriend, that she's come a few times. She's not psychic or anything, and her words were, "I nearly died in the ass." She said she saw a man, because she calls him Sarge now, so it was someone in uniform.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go Lise, because go Jen, because she's not psychic at all. And she actually asked me, she goes, have you seen Sarge? I went, no, he's waiting for you.
Yeah, he was in like a prison officer's uniform, wasn't he? Because there is actually a spirit that resides here that he's connected to the butter factory. He's not connected to the jail. And you'll experience him in the rock room. I have a little bit of a soft spot for him. He makes me laugh because he is referred to as Sarge. That is not, and he reminds me every time it's not his real name.
No.
But he was like the foreman at the butter factory. And if you're sitting down doing, are we doing scrying tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when Jackson
we're back to the church.
Yeah, so Jackson Alley would sometimes do scrying in there, and we can do order board writing, we do table tipping, bunches of different things. If you're sitting down for any period of time, you'll get this feeling that because he's a very large man, he'll be standing over you, and it's like you've just got to say, I'm on Smoko Sarge, and he'll wander off and leave you alone. So he doesn't, you're not, because, when you're a foreman, you've got to be working. You can't be sitting down having a rest, having a cuppa or a smoko, so that's the feeling that you'll get. At night time, that can be a little bit. Don't be freaked out by those. There's
a few of them.
Oh no, he's still there.
Yeah, we moved
3 in this space, and then over when we go into the hospital, there's some as well.
I did realise I could get to there.
Yeah. So as Jack said, Jeremy that owns the prison, who is a collector, obviously a lot of these uniforms, if you like, have been collected. So that's not of the era of when the jail was around, but that's an interesting
all
history.
the clothing is
Original.
Yeah.
That
the
is
lady there.
dress.
Yeah, that's actually like Ned's mum's
real dress.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So
look how skinny she was.
Tiny woman. So in this space, so this is referred to as the laundry, but would have been the jailers' quarters.
Yeah.
At one point.
When it was first opened, it would have been. There actually originally there was a little quarters outside, so they were separate, and then that got taken down and they were moved in here
into the unit. Because as we said, there was only one jailer or one head sergeant, if you like, who would look after.
And they would have a lot of police come up from the main street. Even with the hospital, they didn't have their own nurses, so they would come from the Kilmore Hospital as well. So it was a very different sort of, the way they were staffed, it was really different.
And one of Sergeant Ike that would have been in charge at one stage, it was nothing for him to leave.
the jail for the night.
Which he did frequently.
And go and gamble at the racetracks,
Yeah.
pool hall, and basically leave the jail unattended.
And that was one of the reasons why he lost his job. Yes.
Because that one of the policemen that was looking after the jail, they sort of said, but weren't you looking after the jail? And he said, yeah, well, only until 10 o'clock. And then he was supposed to be back, but Sergeant Ike didn't come back until. So
in the morning.
yeah, so he was. It was just like so many things. Because when we go into this next room, when he came here, he wanted a door to the outside because he didn't want to have to walk all the way back around and come into here. And so they didn't want to do the door, but they ended up doing the door. And what happened was.
That was a mistake.
There was an escape, and when they asked, and it was pretty much the nail in the coffin for poor Sergeant Ike after that, because what happened was they escaped, and then so obviously there was an inquiry, and they said, well, how did the prisoner escape? And he escaped through the door, and the key was left in it. And so then he was actually fined for that, and he got in trouble for that because he actually got his fine from, he went to trackside and sort of won his money on the horses to pay the fine, and then it was just a comedy of errors. We've got, like, honestly, when I was like reading the history, I was just belly laughing. I just thought, oh my god, this guy.
He got given so many chances
Yes.
over the 8 years that he was the head jailer. It was ridiculous. So.
And he does come through for us sometimes, and it's quite, it is quite amusing, the conversations that we do have with him, because he's sort of like, he's very apologetic,